All right, race fans, we are back. We are Bertless again this week because we are doing it at 10:30 at night, which is prime time for me. I'm good. Chonga's being a trooper. It's way past his bedtime. You got to get up early in the morning. So, but the fact is, this is kind of noon for me. If you know, you know. But sorry, Bert, we couldn't quite get you on here. We want to have our boy on here, but we'll have him back in action next week. So, episode number 295 of the One to Go show. I'm your host, Ryan Aho. My co-host here, former crew chief of the 71H, Chonga in the house. Glad to have you on here. And let's start. I guess we'll give a couple shout outs here, a couple sponsors. We'll start Impact Health Sharing. If you pay for your own health insurance, I don't care if you're self employed, you're an employee. If you have employees, if you have to pay for your own health insurance and you're looking every single month like, my God, I am paying way too much money, crazy high deductibles. This is bonkers, right? I might have a solution for you. It's called Impact Health Sharing. Go ahead, hit me up, 218-969-1380. Call, text, hit me up on Messenger. I can get you a quick, no obligation quote, see if we can help you out. I talked to somebody today, Changa. They were paying multiple thousands, couple $1,000s a month for healthcare for a family. Here, for a family, you're looking right around $650 a month. I mean, it is absolutely criminal what people are paying for health insurance. And if you're in that boat, I can maybe help you out. I can at least give you a quote to see if we can maybe do better for you. Another shout out here, Fastlane Motorsports, proud sponsor of the #1 series in Wissota Racing, the Northland Superstock Series. We call it the Fastlane Superstock Series. Chris sponsored us, back when we raced in the mods. He sponsored, helped so many people over there. They build cars, fabricating, powder coating. They can get any part you need. You name it, they do it. All things racing. Fastlane Motorsports and powder coating up in Ashland. I want to give a shameless plug right here. The opening night. If you're a super stock driver, if you're a super stock fan, if you're a tardy racing fan, Friday, July 10th, it's going to be a Donnybrook 67-67 to win, $30,000 purse for the Super Stocks. Get that on your calendar. Night one of the Super Stock Series. They go to Grand Rapids the next night, up to Proctor the night after that. It's going to be a hell of a weekend up there, and it's not just going to be a race. It's going to be a banger of a party afterwards, too. So get that on your calendar right now. So let's start with some local news, and I want to give condolences here. Don't know the details, none of my business what happened. Unexpected passing, Trevor Stewart, former standout racer, did some asphalt stuff. And, if you know Rod Lindquist, he's a former executive director. He actually raced for Rod. Chad Stewart, of course, the own structural buildings, title sponsor of the Wissota Late Model Challenge Series. That's his brother. Just want to give our thoughts and prayers, condolences, to the Stewart family, friends, everybody that knew him. I know Rod really good. I know Chad really good. I didn't know Trevor is good. You're not going to meet a better guy than Chad Stewart. I mean, he's a stand-up guy. Got to know him pretty darn well, and just our thoughts are with you. Um, Also on local news, speaking of late models. Little bit of news there in the late model action on the national scene, Chongo. What do we got there?
Well, we got one of our national touring guys, that's somewhat local, Jake Tim, deciding to take a step back, regroup, kind of go to a pick and choose type of schedule. You just, inevitably the costs of traveling up and down the road, trying to chase that, the national touring series. If you're not up front very frequently, you can't do it forever before you run dry on cash. So he's gonna take a step back, and we'll probably see him do some, Mars series stuff, some of the Hell Tour stuff, and you know some of the local super late model type of things. So hopefully he can pack up, regroup, and sharpen the pencil and maybe get back out there again in the future.
Well, he's a hell of a race car driver. I mean, he's good. I mean, he's won a ton of races, whether it's modifieds, he's won, regionally, locally in the late models, and you look at it, right? He doesn't have a lot of experience in the late model. He really doesn't. I bet he's got maybe I bet not counting last year, I'd say it's pretty fair to say there's no way he's even close to 100 starts in a late model. There's no way. And I'm talking even like on a local level, right?
Right.
And you look at some of these top guys, your Bobby Pierces, he had multiple years running the Hell Tour before he really got his grip there in the national scene. Turbo took a step back, ran some Hell Tour stuff, and really did well the last couple of years. So he's got talent, great people. Of course, they got his dad got the Mississippi Thunder Speedway. He won a lot of races. I got to race against him back in the day. I don't know. I mean, is he going to focus on the late model and just kind of stick with that? Could we see him maybe transition and decide to, hell with it? I'm just going to go race USMTS. Didn't really sound like it, right? I did see that the Summer Nationals, the Hell Tour guy, whoever the Facebook person is like, hey, we'd love to have you. And I'm like, hell yeah. I'm in Illinois. I'm in Illinois now. They got a lot of bull rings. One thing I know that Jake Tim can do is he can rip the lip, right? He's not afraid to bang the boards. I would
He,
love
he
to see him down there in Illinois
he
banging
did
the
send a
cushion.
reply back too with one of these.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to the Nippy 50 here in a couple of weeks, so he's going
And
to be there. But
that's gonna be a difficult race. I mean, that ain't your average Mars Series race. Everybody will be
no,
at that.
yeah, there'll be a bunch of hitters. But like it's if he was running up front, like you say, if you're running top five every night, yeah, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. But if you're not getting the results, there's nothing wrong with taking a step back. It's not a knock on him. It's just, hey, you got to get some more experience, get some more laps, and quite honestly, get the confidence built up because, if you're kind of struggling and you're in that headspace, man, it's easy to be like, man, discouraged and you're not racing good because it's just a confidence deal. Got to get that confidence back. So good luck the rest of the way, Jake Tim. Speaking of that area, right? A lot of USRA stuff, Mississippi Thunder area. Northern Lights Mod Tour, Changa, coming to Wissota country. So Trenton Berry, and I think there's some other people involved with that. So it's kind of I thought it was a USRA deal, but it's almost every sanction. They kind of make it work. Like I believe Wissota guys can just run their own rules to the best of my knowledge. But Friday, May 29th, they're going to be at the I-94 Speedway in Fergus Falls. Saturday, May 30th at the Half Mile, Viking Speedway, Alexandria. May 31st, it says TBD, possibly maybe working something out with Granite City, right? He's kind of had some open stuff there. So, your thoughts on this? I got some thoughts. I want your thoughts on this. A different tour, a non-exclusive Wissota sanctioned tour, right? Coming into Wissota country, your thoughts?
Well, we did talk about this a little bit, and I probably talked about it a lot of times over the years of things similar to this. But uh, anytime you can bring a series to any racetrack that allows different rules packages to all be able to race at one track on a given night, that's a good thing, right? I mean, the more competition, the different faces, the different fans, that you can bring to the racetrack is always a positive. Now, I don't know a lot about the rules package and can the Wissota cars be competitive in it? I mean, sure, they can run their rules package, but are they actually going to be competitive? I don't know that. But certainly sounds like something that if they can't, it seems to be the future of the class, really. I mean, you have to be able, mod racing all over the country. There's so many different rules all over the place, and anybody that's trying to unify them, I think sanctioning bodies need to be kind of paying attention and figuring out, all right, how can we develop our rules and our packages more similar so that this can happen everywhere, right?
They are very close. Cubic inch difference, a little bit, right? But they are very, very close. The rules between USRA and Wissota, the closest it's ever been. And this is a great test, right? This is a great test. They already have mod wars where Jody Belfi, he ran awesome at against the big guns at Ogilvy, right?
Mhm.
So Fergus Falls typically pretty slick. Viking can be pretty slick. I think the Wissota guys run well. I mean, you go to Alexandria and Fergus, them locals up there, they're good, right? They got some really good drivers, and I think it's good for the fans, right? Because they got good mod guys there, but there's just not a lot, right? On a regular night, there's the numbers just aren't there in Wissota racing. So if you can bring in 10, 12, 15 out of town drivers, now the fans can be like, man, now we have some new drivers to watch our guys compete against. I think it's absolutely awesome. And shout out Barry Braun because they did the Ona Mod Series, that event here over the last couple of years, kind of a unified deal. They showed that it absolutely will work. They can make it work. And why not? Why not right now look at this and say, we got to get our heads together with Soda, USRA. I don't care which way you do it, right? The rules should be the same. Fine. If you want USRA to be on American Racers and Wissota to be on Hoosiers, whatever. There's no reason the rest of the rules packages just can't get aligned. It would just be better for the drivers, better for the tracks, and I'm pretty excited that this is coming up to Wissota country. I did see there 4 times at Mississippi Thunder, and my buddy Derek pointed out 0 times at Deer Creek, which is weird, right? Now,
Right. It
there
is.
is there June 20th. There's a to be determined June 19th. They're running at Lansing. So
Yeah, that would make sense.
maybe, right? Maybe. Um, I don't really know what's all going down at Deer Creek. Sounds like there's a few less shows, a few less specials. Not really sure what's going on, but I really like this series, right? I really like the fact that they're trying to blend these together. So, hats off right there, hat tip to I-94, and especially Jeff Kraus, because I know he started working on this last year, kind of bringing this together. So I think he kind of spearheaded this deal. He kind of helps run the Viking Speedway. I think he kind of brought this to the forefront. So I think this could be a really good deal for mod fans in the area. So how about we give a shout out to our buddy Brad Parson, Brad Parson's Soil and Egg Solution. I know we got some snow here over the last week, and Changa, I was up in Ashland. I had to go from Ashland down to Detroit, right? Detroit, Michigan. And normally you'd go up and over and down across the Mackinac Bridge. You got 30 inches of snow. Bridge was closed. I had to go 180 miles around the other way, right? So, yep, we're getting plenty of moisture, plenty of snow. Sounds like North Dakota, maybe not so much, but farmers, planting season is getting close. What does that mean? That means that you're ready to kind of start that starting process to hopefully have a great year of making money. Why not call Brad at 320-219-3542 and learn about all the great products they have that can help you get higher yields, that can produce more income for you in your farming endeavors. That's Brad Parsons, Soil and Egg Solution. So let's jump into a little national late model stuff here, right? Last weekend they had a couple World of Outlaw races, and yeah, they did have some, regional stuff going on as well. For example, Tanner English got a win. We kind of talked about what's he going to do. Looked like he was in a rocket down at Duck River, got a $6,000 payday. I expect to see him probably doing some Hell Tour, regional type stuff this year. But they had World of Outlaw races, Changa, at Bulls Gap Volunteer Speedway, and then they went to Smoky Mountain. Give us a little update. What happened? Let's talk about Bulls Gap first. That was the first race. What stuck out to you over at Bulls Gap?
Well, Bulls Gap was the same as Bulls Gap always is, right? One groove right around the top. Uh, Pierce was probably the only guy that really passed anybody in that race. I think he went like sixth to third or eighth to third or something. Had a really good car, but um, Mikey Marlar getting it done, right? Heck of a run. And, I thought about picking him in our pick'ems, but I'm like, God, I haven't seen him do anything in quite some time. I don't know how would I even write his name down, right? But that track's right in his wheelhouse. Always runs really good right at that place. And then I think RTJ got second, Pierce third. And then that was the race RTJ got docked on the start, or
Yeah, he got docked, and it was close, right? It was a close call there, but I don't know. I'm not going to say they're overly consistent with calling people for docking. It don't happen very often, right? And we see people fire early all the time, so maybe that's he's not a woo regular. I don't really know, right? He wasn't overly happy with the call, and when you get a call against you, you never really are, right? Um, I will say this: the Marlar boys are both fast there, right?
yeah,
Cameron Marlar, I
Cam
think he
was
had a
good
top
too.
10. Yeah, Cam was good, but both Tennessee guys, right? They're used to that high bank, and 25-degree banking at the gap down there. Me and shout out Dano, we went there a couple years ago, I'm here to tell you, man, I had him stand down at the bottom of the corner because watching it on TV, sure, you can tell it's banked, right? But when you're there, I had him stand on the bottom of the track, and if you just looked peripherally, right, his head was nowhere near the bottom of the wall on the outside. I mean, it's like it's crazy banking there, which led, according to Dotson, right, which maybe led to a
Oh,
little bit of
yeah.
drama because boy, Strickler and Dotson not going to be exchanging Christmas cards
No.
anytime soon. Contact was made. Strickler came into the bottom. He did get up into him. Dotson also kind of came down, in my opinion. He kind of, he came down the hill. In fact, it looked like he almost got just a titch sideways right before the contact, and they both went up the track to the fence. And to me, right, it it looked to me like Dotson just stayed in the pump, drove straight down the track, and tipped him over. And Dotson's like, it's got 25 degrees of banking. I rolled
Uh,
down the
that's
track.
that's where I
Uh,
wanted to go with that. I
I
mean,
I'm gonna call bullshit. I don't know. What do you think?
well, yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Strickler went in there and he used them up. There ain't no question about it. He did get inside of them and used them up, drove them all the way up to the wall, shoved them all the way up to the wall. But and you're right, Dotson's like, yeah, well, there's 25 degrees of banking. I'm coming back down the hill. Well, my friend, I'm watching this replay and I see fucking roosters shooting off your tires until he freaking rolled over. So don't tell me it was the track. You were in the pump. He was on the pump. That thing was shooting stuff off the tires the whole way. So yeah, I'm gonna not believe that BS story.
Yeah, and I enjoy watching them both race. Strickler's got a little checkered past. He's kind of that
Oh
bad
man.
boy persona, right? Whatever. And Dotson
I'd have been a
declined the
good
interview.
brawl. They're them two. They like to party. They like to brawl.
Yeah, yeah, and Dotson's like, he's basically like, to hell with Strickler, right? He comes here, he's not even on the tour. All he gives a shit about is partying, having a good time. He just wants to drink beer and do whatever and get the hell out of here. I don't know, man. I mean, he does like to party, right?
Mhm.
So did Scott Bloomquist. I'm not saying by any means Kyle Strickler, Scott Bloomquist. That's not what I'm saying. But Scott Bloomquist liked to party, but when he put his helmet on, he was highly competitive. He also liked to win races. Kyle Strickler's a race car driver. He likes to win. He competes at a high level in anything he's in. So you can give me he's there to party and all that, which I guarantee it. He likes to party. He ain't gonna shy away from a party, but he's also highly competitive. But I'm telling you what, that I wish them two race against each other the rest of the year a whole lot more because we need that kind of drama. Both of them very, very talented, and fans put down in the comments, let us know. Whose fault do you think that was? Was that Dotson's fault? Was it Strickler's? Strickler did use them up. Dotson came down. He stayed. Give us your thoughts, right? And if you had to pick one in a fight, who would you pick? Would you pick Strickler? Would you pick Dotson? Which one would you go? Just
They
curious, right?
actually had that question on a podcast panel here
Did
this
they?
week. So did you see that? Yeah.
I did not. I kind
Yeah.
of funny that it came out, but I did not. So nice. Yeah, that would I don't know. I'd probably take Strickler. I got to be honest. I think I'd probably take Strickler myself. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I don't. I've never even met them in person, so I don't know. I think it'd be good. Dotson's a little younger, a little more athletic, maybe.
True, 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 true. He's definitely. I met them both. I met them both. Smoky Mountain. They went there on Saturday. There was a little bit of drama there too. Not quite as heated argument lit. Not that type of
Yeah.
drama, but
That,
man,
that,
it
uh,
was.
so you want me to give the recap on
Yeah.
that too?
Yep.
Yeah. So Smoky Mountain, you know, uh, race starts out, a lot of the heavy hitters up front there, and all the usual suspects: RTJ and Pierce and Hoffman and um, Madden was up there, and track was just they were just blowing all the crumbs off the bottom all the way across the racetrack, and we get. I don't know. Was it even halfway when the yellow come out and they pushed the
Ma-
grader tires
Yeah.
out on the
Madden
racetrack?
was leading at the time.
Yep, yep. Yep, Madden was leading at the time. In fact, I think Pierce might have been second at the time. And anyhow, the yellow comes out. They push them tractor tires up a little bit, and the ensuing restart. I mean, it had got to the point where it was so crummy up the racetrack they could do nothing but play follow the leader on the bottom when they pushed them tires up. it allowed the top to clean up enough for Overton just to go by everybody, and he was essentially gone. I mean, he's going to win that race. Uh, Madden was kind of comfortable in second. Pierce was catching him a little, and then two to go. Something happened with Dennis Erb Jr. He gets turned around, and so the leader is coming up on him, but he was behind Jake Tim's car, who was kind of, he's on the pump, he's jacked up, and he pulls over to go around Jake Tim to lap him, and boom, just absolutely land blasts Dennis Erb. I mean, it was a hit. I was worried. I grabbed my chest. I'm like, oh my God, that's leader. Oh my God, are they okay? I was scared, right? And then, Pierce goes way to the ditch, and Hoffman was able to squeak right in between the wreck and Pierce, and Madden end up clipping it. So Pierce inherits the lead, goes on to win the race. Um, so fortunate deal for him there, I guess. But man, oh man, I think Overton did have him covered there, and you know, RTJ I think got third. If I missed something here, go ahead and fill me in.
Well, no, I think you're spot on. Madden, I think, was close enough that he kind of got into that deal and clipped. And it was funny because they interviewed Pierce while they're cleaning everything up, and they're like, what do you think of all this deal? He's like, boy, I picked the wrong lane on the last restart, but I guess if they're both out, I ain't got a pickle lane. I'm the leader now, so that's kind of good. He said, he kind of, snarkily said that, like, all right, well, I guess I'll take that. He knew he wasn't going to win, but question I have for you, and it never came up in conversation. Madden never mentioned, never thought about it, right? Ultimately, the track was garbage until they moved the tires out. So the idea of moving the tires out did make the track better, right? But if I'm the leader, I'm pissed off.
Now, let
'Cause
me ask you this before we go any further: did they not move them back in on one of the late restarts?
I don't remember. I don't
That
recall that.
that may have happened. Now, I'm not positive on that, but
Right.
something tells me that may have happened.
So if I'm the leader, right, and it's like, okay, we're all on even playing field, and it's not my fault as the leader that you made a poor decision before the race to have the tires where they are and the track sucks. That's not my fault, right? I'm the leader, though. It's not my fault. Now they go move the tires in. You're leading the race thinking, okay, this deal's over because I'm just going to run around the bottom. There ain't nobody going to pass anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, they make the track. Ultimately, the decision made the track and the racing way better for sure,
I
without
set up my
question.
race car to run like this because I knew the track was going to be
Right.
that way.
So now
Now they changed the
Madden
track
falls.
on me.
Yeah, Madden falls back. He gets caught up in a wreck. That's where the butterfly effect. He never would have probably got caught up in that wreck had they not moved the tires out where they did, right? Because he would have just ran the bottom, probably won the race. So, but he never mentioned it, so he's probably all fine. But it's one of those deals where I'm just never really a fan of moving tires around during the race. I've seen a couple tracks do it. I just don't like it. Especially if you're leading the race, right? Then you really don't like it. If you're running second or third and you're kind of looking at it like, man, I got 25 more laps of this garbage. You're like, no, no, no. Let's do something to the track, make it a racetrack again. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. It kind of depends where you are on the racetrack, if you
Well, and
like it or
let's
not.
be honest. I mean, the track crew, the people that run the facility, they don't give two shits who wins the race. They want the crowd to actually see something somewhat entertaining, so they might want to come back next time. They don't want to watch a
That's
race where they're
fair.
putting around the bottom of it. I mean, from the track's perspective, I mean, it's two
Right.
different deals, right?
That is 100% fair because you would have had 25, it would have probably latched up. It would have been terrible, right? And ultimately for entertainment value, it was by far the right decision. So you're absolutely right. A couple other little nuggets here, little news. Randall Edwards, right? The journeyman crew chief guy. He's been
He's
with
bourbon.
Bloomquist, right? He was with Best Performance with both Josh Richards and Turbo. Garrett Smith, B. Shep, Carson Brown in his latest little tenure here. He was with Josh Rice. That didn't last long. Lasted speed weeks. He's already out. So, it kind of seems like he had a pretty long stint with Bloomer, pretty long stint with Best Performance, and then everything after that was like a couple months or whatever. I don't know if that's him or Josh. I don't really know, but interesting that the whole not staying in the same place for very long. But Randall Edwards got a kind of storied career in dirt track racing It'll be interesting to see where he lands next, right? Um, Another guy here, Jimmy Owens. Didn't race speed weeks at all. Kind of looked like he's kind of out at Kaler, kind of mixed signals on how they post things on Facebook. We fully support his, season, but they sold the hauler or whatever, and they're not really footing the bill necessarily like they were. So he ran Vic Hill's car at Bulls Gap and ended up upside down because he sounds like the car shut off on him. Must have been ignition or something. So he that lasted one night. Then he got out in his rocket and didn't make the feature. You never should we count him out? What do you think? Is he going to go to the Hunt the Front this weekend and try to? Is he going to try to go back to back with the championship, or are his days? I mean, everybody's days are numbered, but should we expect to see um, Jimmy Owens have much success here this year? What do you think?
God, I don't even know what to think. I don't know what to believe. The way I was believing it here before recently was, yeah, he had equipment, but he didn't have much for help, and so in order to go do a speed weeks type of thing, that's a job, right? That's a full
Right.
time gig, and so he was gonna. I don't not of his choice, but quite honestly, I think it's to me, my opinion, my guess was that Kohler Motorsports was willing to give him the equipment, but they weren't going to pay for him to have a crew and pay for everybody. He was going to have to get that on his own. But yeah, I'm hoping you'll see him run. At least I'd love to see him run the whole Hunt the front deal and try to
Yeah.
defend his title. But that I don't know. I haven't. Have you heard if he's even going this week?
I haven't heard. I have not heard. I don't know what happened. He didn't make the show. He had a rough night there at Smoky Mountain, but I hope he does because Jimmy Owen's good for dirt track racing. I mean, he's one of the best to strap in. He was a hell of a mod guy. He's had an awesome career in dirt late model racing, and I get it. He's getting, I think he's younger than Dale McDowell, right? So
Oh yeah.
so he's definitely got some time left, but it's hard to say. I mean, if you don't have a lot of funding, behind you, boy, it's a tough deal to go super late model racing. So hopefully he lands right. I saw he did. Flo mentioned, I believe, last week that he is looking for opportunities to drive for somebody here in 2026, and it's hard to say if he'll land something or not. But Jimmy Owens has had one hell of a career. Hopefully he can keep it going a little bit longer. So another shout out here, newer sponsor that we have, Agara Cafe. So if you're into functional beverages, whether if you're a coffee drinker or maybe you like matcha, some green tea, you're looking for a healthier option, right? Something to drink that's not just a beverage, but can help you lose weight, get rid of joint pain, have some mental clarity, more energy, you know, so many different benefits with this product. It's 9 supplements infused into a couple different beverage options for you to not only give you great flavor, great taste, but also to give you good health benefits to go along with that. So hit me up 218-969-1380. Text me whatever, hit me up on Facebook. If you're a coffee drinker especially, let me know. I definitely get you some to try. And if you're somebody that maybe likes to make a little extra money, right? Maybe create a little residual passive income. We're looking for distributors as well. So that's Agara Cafe. And my boy Chonga definitely is messing with my Flow Racing right now. I'm trying to watch the high
My
limits.
stick. I didn't know you were on there. My stick
That
just went out.
that fucker right now is yep.
I
I
didn't
it
know you
hasn't
were
been
on it.
it hasn't been working on my stick all day. It's been kind of buffering, so I
Well, it was
flipped it on the
working
flow.
until just now,
Yeah.
and then it went to hell. Oh no! Now
Yeah.
you're messing with my flow now.
Ha ha, there we go. They're on commercial break
Okay,
anyway.
two can
We
play
got
that game.
yeah, we got the high limit A main rolling out here. I know they're
Oh, it's not just rolling out; it's already started.
yeah, the pushing flips right now. There must be a yellow because they're pushing cars
Hmm.
right now. So speaking of buggies, right? Last week they had World of Outlaw and they had high limits. Let's start with the World of Outlaws. They were at Cannondale down in Texas, right? Just not too far from Dallas Fort Worth area for a double header down there. And you know, uh I'll touch a little bit on that one. Night number one, Buddy Kofoid was in like fourth, and just in a quick, fast, in a hurry, he went from fourth to the lead. Looked like he was going to drive away from the pack and jump the cushion, pounded the fence, ended his night. So Buddy Kofoid Boy, he's had a rough start to the season. He's so good, and he had that one night. He didn't start the feature the one night, right? Didn't he miss a feature?
I don't know. I know he's got two 20
Yeah,
something place finishes here in a row, I think.
yeah,
Oh,
yep. I
yeah,
think
you're
he
right.
hurt a motor. I
Yeah,
think he
he
hurt
went
a
out there
motor.
for the feature and the thing wouldn't
Didn't
run
start.
or something.
Yeah, yep. So he's got that, and then he had this one won. So as somebody that I thought was going to compete for a championship with David Gravel, boy, a couple bad nights here early's really set him behind the eight ball. So then a guy that's kind of had a really tough start down at Volusia, Bill Baylog gets a lead. Changa closing laps. It's over. It's over, right? Gravel gets a good run off of 1 and 2 on the last lap. Baylog's kind of got it under control, and instead of taking that block line and kind of cutting down through the middle of 3 and 4 to kind of roll back up to the top and block that slider, leaves it wide open, jumps the cushion a little bit, jumps it again. Gravel gets inside. He hits the fence coming off of 4, literally gives it away at the line. Gravel capitalizes, and that's why he's a World of Outlaw champion right there. Capitalizing when other people make mistakes, and there's all kinds of mistakes going on here. We got a shit show parking lot here at Casa Grande on
Good. You just
lap number
one
3.
second. I need to reset my fire stick.
All right, you go ahead and reset that. So yeah, so night number 1, needless to say, David Gravel wins. Donnie Schatz back to his I do not know how to qualify ways, and absolutely buried himself both nights. And night number 1, he did work himself up. I think he got fifth or sixth or somewhere in that neighborhood. He passed a pile of cars to get in the feature, racing good in the A mains, but man, these cars are just too good, Changa. You cannot qualify that bad every single night and expect to be competing for wins. The one night that he qualified well, bam, he wins a dash, wins the A main, right? He's aware of it.
Absolutely.
I don't know what they got to do to get better. Night number 2, though, Changa, absolute horrific. They get the heat races done. They get the dash done. Baylog was going to be on the pole, see if he get a little redemption, right? B main rolls out on the track. Guy tips over, right? One of the cars, in when they're kind of rolling the track in, tips over, and two safety vehicles, side by sides. One driven by an ACS or ASCS guy, one by a World of Outlaw guy. I don't know all the details, but they were both rushing to the scene of the accident. Somehow they collided. The one guy flew out and dead on impact. They went solemn. Everybody went quiet. Right, Changa, right there on the front straightaway, right in front of the whole crowd. Literally
Unreal.
died. The other guy got major injuries. I think he's still in the hospital. You might even have their names written down. I don't know. Um,
So I do have the gentleman that passed away,
yeah.
gentleman by the name of Billy Hurt.
Billy Hurt, yeah, terrible deal, right? I mean, we had this happen at the Soda 100 last year, and it's just freak things. I mean, things happen so dang fast out there, and I just you feel for the racing community, the people that know him, the fans. I mean, the driver that tipped over, the side by side guy that hit him. You never want to see something like that, and they shut it down. They said the races are over. They're canceled. We're moving on. And the one guy got brought to the hospital. As of yesterday, was still in the hospital. He's got some major injuries. I did talk to a buddy of mine that actually is on a team down there. He's a pit guy for a team, and I think he was going to go up and visit him. He knows him pretty well, and sounds like that guy was taking it pretty hard. He made contact with the other guy. He feels responsible. The guy passed. It's like, you know, we just don't know. I mean, ultimately, I don't know what everybody's faith is, right? But when you die, you die. So, I believe it's out of our control. You kind of have that time, right? We like to think we can have control of that, but I just don't know that we do. And you just you take a moment, you kind of sets you back. You're like, racing's fun, but it's a dangerous sport. In the car, on the side by sides, and there was a lot of incidents last year, even just push starting sprint cars, right? There was multiple incidents with people getting hurt doing that. We had a guy in Hibbing, right, that got hurt pretty bad, broke a bunch of ribs, and so it's a scary deal. I mean, are we going to see a time where they're like I think World of Outlaws, they make you wear a helmet. The safety crew
Oh,
does.
yeah, them people they have fireproof suits,
ACS
helmets,
guy did
all
not have, yeah, the ACS guy did not have a helmet on.
that.
No, no. So it's not mandatory there. I think it's probably going to be mandatory. Most of our guys, we look at our racetracks, we got people on four-wheelers, side by sides, corner workers, right? 95% of them, 98% of them, there's no helmets or anything. And,
Oh God, no. I don't
so
think I've ever seen a helmet.
no, I've even seen tracks where flag people have helmets, right? When you first look at it, you're like, boy, that's kind of weird. Well, you get smacked in the head with a rock or whatever, it ain't all that weird anymore. So, just
What happened to Brad Sweet anyhow? He was leading last time I looked, and I don't even see him now.
I don't know. They're showing a number 10 in the pits right now. So
Well, I must, yeah, number 10. Yeah, you might be a minute ahead of me, but
hmm,
while we're on that, you see who's leading this thing?
Thorson,
Thorson's leading it.
didn't you say he's got a little something different going on too?
So yeah, the way I understand it, Tanner Thorson's um, one of, if not the only guy out there that runs coil springs in the sprint car. I
Yeah,
think all the rest of them are like a torsion bar suspension, and his is a coil spring suspension. I believe Stevie Smith is his father-in-law, and he works
yep,
pretty close with them. So I don't know
right.
if that was something they did back in his day or what, but they did it all year last year from what I've been hearing, and they're getting better and better and more consistent. I mean, they'd have their nights.
Didn't you
They're
say
getting
he had
more consistent.
we're going to get to the high limits next. Thoughts and prayers again with everybody, down at Kennedale, everybody that knew the gentleman that passed away. That's just a bad deal. But speaking of high limits, Thorson had the best average finish over the
Mhm.
3 nights last week at Vegas, left 2 points out of first because Reitzel, of course, got a win. But I did talk to my buddy that pits for Baylog, and he's like, to the best of his knowledge, he might be the only guy that he knows, that's on coil spring stuff. And I think he said, boy, I could be wrong, but I think he said Sammy Swindell back in the day played around with that a little bit once in a while too. But
Yeah.
interesting to see him doing something different. And he is out front right now. Rico's in second. Man, we'll see if Thorson can hang on. I mean, could we be seeing a trend? I mean, if he goes on and all of a sudden he starts rattling off wins and he's consistently running on the podium, are there going to be other teams going, huh? It is a monkey see, monkey do
Oh,
sport, right?
100%.
So, you know,
You run Bilsteins, I better run Bilsteins, right? Right. You run this chassis, everybody's going to buy that chassis, right?
correct.
Whoever's winning, they'll copy you.
Yeah, Larson won light night one, day night two, and then Reitzel won night three. But Thorson, he had the best average finish. I think he was on the podium all 3 nights. He was really, really good last week. And 22 to go, he's looking pretty good again right now down at Casa Grande. Now, the question I have for you in the high limits last week, of course, Reitzel leaves with the point lead. There's a there's an incident at the end of the race. I believe it was when Corey Day was running second or third, and his axle tube snapped in half, and he DNF'd, right? And then they had an open red. They're out working on the track, and apparently they have a horn, and when the horn, you have to stop working on your car, and if you don't, they dock you. Well, they said the two drivers were working on their cars. They were going to get docked. One of them, the leader, Reitzel, and another one, I don't remember who the other
Was
one
it,
was.
was it, was, is there a Carrick?
Tanner Carrick, maybe somebody a
Yeah, I
little bit
believe that's
further.
who it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to the best of my knowledge, they both got their spot back because they're like, well, we couldn't hear it. Um, I don't know, kind of an interesting deal, right? The way I looked at it, I told Dan, because he's like, well, that's kind of BS. I'm like, well, I texted Brad Sweet and I said, look, I picked Reitzel in my pick'ems last week, in my pick'ems, so you can't be docking him. Just go ahead and give him a spot back. So I probably pulled that card a little early in the season to try to get him his spot back. Just kidding. I didn't actually do that. But yeah, should he have got a spot back? Should they have, they played we didn't hear it. Changa, if you're my pit guy, we're on the track. We got an open red, right? And they're like, hey, you're getting docked. You're getting absolutely docked. You were working on it after the horn blew. What are you gonna say?
Do you want your house burnt down?
That too, that too. Or
No,
are you going to say,
it's like,
what horn? I didn't hear no horn.
right.
That's what they said. What are you talking about? I didn't hear a horn. Well, of course you're going to say that. You could literally be hearing it go, right? And you're like, I ain't done yet. Shit. Hey, the horn went off. I did not hear a horn. I have no idea what you're
The
talking
way I
about.
understand it, I mean, the red comes out, everybody stops, and they were all the way around the racetrack, right? Well, if
Yep.
the horn's on one end, you don't necessarily hear it on the other end. I don't know if they got to have a guy with a freaking boat horn sitting on the other end, and when tell you over the radio, okay, blow the boat horn. I don't know what they got to do,
Did
but
they have one? Because sources said they had multiple. I don't know
well,
if
yeah,
they
I
did.
don't know. I mean, I had heard, and I think you told me that people that were there had a hard time hearing it. So
Yeah. Some people said, oh, we heard it loud and clear. So it's a lot of he said, she said, but probably got to fix that, right? But they did make a significant change that I don't know if I like,
I
right?
hate it.
One, I think you know what I'm going to say. Okay.
Mhm.
One thing that I've been very intrigued with in sprint car racing over the last handful of years, really paying attention while doing the show, is just how massively talented and quick these pit guys are, right? Like they roll over, they get in a crash, and they're like guaranteed time. I think it was guaranteed 2 minutes in the work area or whatever, up until so many laps to go. And you can see people, they're changing wings and they're changing front axles and they're it's absolutely amazing the work that
Yeah,
they're getting done to get the cars back on the track. Well, they now we got one upside down. Now they made a rule in high limit that you're only guaranteed 1 minute in the work area one time, and it's only for a flat tire. That's it. And and I
well,
get it
mind
that
you, if there's chaos and they can't get the race started in a minute, you got all the time you until
you have time, yeah, in some cases, but a lot of
But
times they
if
give you
they're
that
rolling, they're
guaranteed.
only going to wait 1 minute one time.
Right, right. So to
I hate
me,
that.
right, I absolutely hate it too, right?
Mm.
Because as a fan, you're spending money and you want to watch certain drivers, right? And the fact is, it is entertaining watching the crews go to work, do their job, and then it's also entertaining when a driver comes back out on the racetrack and now they have an opportunity to put a show on for the crowd and come through the field. All these high limit races, they have one class. It's not
Right.
like they have three, four, five classes of cars and it's a 4 or 5 hour just a shit show, right? We're talking 2.5 hours, and I get they're trying to speed the process up and whatever. You don't want a 3 hour. I get all that, right? But they already got a pretty quick show. They had three heat races tonight, for God's sake. I mean, you don't need four 25-minute intermissions. You just don't
Oh.
need that, right?
And I
So
mean, it's at the point now where they're just coming up with gimmicks and games and
yeah, yeah.
bullshit just to kill the time, so there's something to entertain you.
Yeah, so limit some of that stuff and just give these people their guaranteed time back, because most of the time it's not a huge ordeal anyway, right? So I don't know. I just don't like it, and they're making all these changes, and it's just I don't know. I think it's taken away from the sport. It's not adding, but we'll see how it goes over the 2026 season. How about a shout out here to our friend Mac over at East Central Sports, Changa. So he's over in Rush City, Minnesota, just north of the Twin Cities. You get to the Rush City exit, you go 1 mile to I guess it'd be to the west on the right-hand side of the road. That is East Central Sports. They're your number one source for pit bikes, kids ATVs, golf carts, some badass golf carts, as we've seen, Toro lawnmowers, and a whole lot more. So let them know that you heard about them on the One to Go show. Get $100 discount on anything that you purchase. You can give Mac a call, 320-358-1994, or check them out online at www.eastcentralsports.com. So our pick'ems here this last week, Changa, the old 71A for the second time in the last 3 weeks, parking in Victory Lane. We were tied going into that high limit race, and you had Corey Day and he broke, right? You had Corey Day and he broke, and I had Rico, and I think I had Rico, and I know I had
Red Rico
Reitzel.
Reitzel. Yeah.
Yeah, they
You
both
got
got
the
the
three,
points.
and I
So I
got
got
one.
the three bagger and I won by three and kind of slid myself up another
Actually, no,
spot.
I got
So
zero.
you got zero on that one. I
Yeah,
got three. We were tied going into that one.
because I
So
had Larson and Day.
Tardy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tardy jumped the cushion. Tardy pulled a Bill Baylog, stepped on his wiener, smacked the fence, gave the lead away. Okay, big lead, Changa. He's pulling a cross, right? Had a big lead, and it's fading away, fading away. That's what's happening.
What happened? Who's leading?
The old 31 ride,
That's
Changa,
right.
2 point lead. We got a new leader in the clubhouse here. Tardy's in second at 131, Dano at 129. And Changa, I will say this: objects in mirror are closer than they appear.
Kraus ain't even anywhere near me.
Because I
I'm
am
laughing
now up
his
to
ass.
fourth. I'm only 10 back. I was like 20 some back a couple weeks ago.
So
And
was I.
Governor's in fifth. Mudflap, Kevin Mudrack is in sixth. Uper and Bert are at 114 and seventh. Bromance inside the top 10. Rainman, two-time champ. He got
What?
himself, yeah, he's in 10th. He's 10 points behind Bromance. He had a rough week, couple weeks in a
No.
row. He had a terrible draft. Remember his one guy
Yeah. Yeah.
didn't show up. He was sick, right? In the Chili Bowl. So he's got some work to do. And then Worker B, Man Bun Dan, Beefcake, Coach, and then Cue Ball trying to get himself out of the cellar. So what are we picking this week, Changa? We got all kinds of races this week, including the one on right now. It's
Oh, we got
Thursday night.
so we got excuse me. So we've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We got the high limit sprint cars. It's the Cactus Classic down at the Central Arizona Speedway in Casa Grande, Arizona. We're
Changa,
doing.
it's 105 degrees there today.
Yeah, they were talking about it. It was really hot there.
Oof.
Um, we've got the UMP Dirt Car Modifieds. It's a race called Mods Gone Wild. It's at the I-55 Speedway in Pevely, Missouri, Saturday night. We've got World Outlaw Sprint Car, the Sooner Showdown at Lawton Speedway in Lawton, Oklahoma. Supposed to be really hot there too, right?
Yep.
And then we've got World Outlaw Sprint Cars Stampede at Creek County. And what's this?
That's a that's a little 5th mile deal. Hey, that's a tiny, tiny little bull ring. First
Yep,
time
yep.
there for the Outlaws.
That'll be interesting to see. Then we've got World Outlaw late models at Magnolia Motor Speedway. I believe it's the first time the World of Outlaws have been there. I heard Lucas was there in like 21 or 20, so
Maybe.
it's been a
That might be
while
right.
anyhow since they've had a national touring series. But that's Friday and Saturday. And then we've got a super late model special. It's Northern All Stars race. It's the 50th annual Spring 50 at Florence Speedway in Walton, Kentucky.
The house that Rice built. Rice, Rice, baby.
Yes, sir. He's been on the struggle bus.
He
He's not used to
has.
that Longhorn, and I know
Right,
he lost his crew chief, so maybe he'll without his crew chief, he'll at least know how to go fast there.
right, right.
And then we're doing Hunt the Front late models, the Bama Bash at the Talladega Short Track on Sunday. So a little bit more variety. We're getting close. I can't wait for some Wasota time where we can have a whole variety of things and people to pick from.
Well, if I would have known, we could have probably picked Park Jefferson this week because good luck Jake Smith down there ran really well in Arizona. I don't know if anybody else is going, but I
They got
talked
a
to Bob.
Southern All Stars race too going on this week.
They do, yeah. But I talked to Bob Smith, and Jake Smith is taking the B-Mod down to Park Jefferson. They practice tonight. They're racing Friday, Saturday. And then, of course, they got something coming up in Wheatland here. What is it, the King of America or whatever it is. So I think there's going to be some of our drivers heading down that way here in a couple weeks as well. So we'll get to watch some of our drivers anyway. So let's jump into our bold predictions here. We had some come off the board here last week. So Bert had a couple come off the board. He said World of Outlaw late model action. Nick Hoffman is going to have a better average finish than Bobby Pierce. Well, Hoffman got a 9th and a 2nd. Pierce got a 3rd and a 1st. That one was incorrect. Another one he had come off the board, Beatrice Speedway. They had a couple IMCA races down there. And he said that between the stock cars, IMCA stock cars, IMCA mods, there'd be at least one driver from Wisconsin finish in the top 10 in each division over the weekend, right? He had 2 in the mods. Jeff Jecky got 6th night 1. Brian Mullen got 7th night number 2. He had 0 in the stock cars. So he got that one incorrect. He should have just went with 2 overall. He went with 1 in each. Bad beat there for Bert. Changa, you had a couple come off the board as well. You had one that you said Trey Mills was gonna, win a national touring race over the course of the year, but you said this. You said the combination of Hudson O'Neal and RTJ would have a better average finish than Bobby Pierce and Nick Hoffman.
That didn't happen.
Close. Huddy and RTJ, their average finishing position was fifth. Pierce and Hoffman's was 3.75, so that was incorrect. And then you went out on a limb here. You don't like to bunt. You don't believe in tap-ins. You
Nope.
like to shoot from the opposite blue line, okay? And you said that Bobby Pierce was going to make both A mains in World of Outlaw action, and he'd
Out of the
get
heat race. Out of the heat race.
out of the heat race. Yep, and he'd get at least one podium.
Yeah.
Yep,
That
and
happened.
hey, good job. That's a challenging one right there. I'm proud of you. That's a good
I
one
might
right there,
use that
Fred.
again this week.
That was a good one. Yeah. I had three come off the board as well. Bulls Gap, I said at least three of the top five finishers would be non-World of Outlaw regulars. Mike Marlar, RTJ, Pierce, Madden, Dale McDowell. I actually had four. So that was correct. I said that Aaron Reitzel, after a gear shift here, because I didn't want to snipe Uper's pick, I said Aaron Reitzel would have at least two podiums, at least one win. That happened. That was correct. And then I said
That
World of
was three
Outlaws,
podiums and one win.
at least two podiums and one win. I listened
That's
to it literally right before we did the
okay. I was going
show.
to say because I had three written down.
No, at least two podiums, at least one win. World of Outlaw sprints. I said at least one top five for the North Pole Nightmare Bill Baylog. And he got second after being on the Struggle Bus Evolution. 3 for 3 for the 71A. Uper had three come off the board as well. He said that Jimmy Owens would make both A mains and get at least one top five finish. By the way, that was not a CDR car, Changa. That was
No,
not
I
a
know. It
CDR.
was
Yep.
see something else.
Yep. But he got a DNF night one, did not make the feature night two. A rough weekend for the O show. He also said that BP 32, Bobby Pierce, would have zero podiums and has to race at least one B. How about new? How about new? And then he said that Rico Abreu in his TSR debut, three top tens, at least two podiums, and at least one W. No, sir. 0 for 3 for the snow shoveler from the UP. All right, so our stats after this week, we keep track of overall correct predictions and correct percentages. Changa, you're at 3 correct. Bert
Hey,
Bert and Uper are at 4, and I'm at 8. I got off to a fast start this year. Last year I sucked. This year I got off to a fast start. Hopefully I don't let it slip away. Correct percentage 61.5 for me, 26.6 for Bert in second, Uper at 20, and you're at 17.6. You might need another bunt or two here to get back into this thing here, Changa.
oh, I'm gonna yeah. I think I'm gonna just get walked this week.
6 to go, 5 to go this time by Rico Abreu leading the race.
Okay, so I got 11 to go on my screen. That's why I went over to Flow because I'm a little behind.
Yeah, 5 to go. All right. All right. So we're going to make 3 laps around the track here. God dang it. I got Bert's predictions here. All right. Let me get Bert's here. I forgot that he sent them. And give me
I was gonna
one
ask
sec.
you that because I texted him and told him to
Yeah,
send him if he wasn't gonna make it.
he did here. It's all fine. Okay. All right. I see we got one that's going to be doubled up here, but that's okay because we'll just, being that he's not on here, we're not going to, we'll let it count for both of them. So we're going to do this. I'll let you go first, and then I'll just read them off in order. I got Uper's, Birch, and then I'll do mine. So go ahead and give us your first prediction here.
Okay, I'm gonna go to World of Outlaw late models this weekend at Magnolia Speedway. I'm gonna say no wins for any World of Outlaw regular, meaning every race that happens in the World of Outlaw late models this weekend will be won by a non-regular World of Outlaw guy.
First freaking prediction, and you already sniped Bert.
Yes.
So we got to make an executive decision here
We
because
can both have it, can't we?
that's fine.
I
That's
don't.
fine. Because that is Bert's very first prediction. Actually, the second one, but we'll just get it out of the way. All the World of Outlaw late model races this weekend won by non-woo regulars.
Yeah.
All right.
Mine's.
Yeah, nice, huh? So Uper, his first prediction, Logan Seavey will make all the A mains this week and get at least one top 10. Well, tonight he got 18th. So that did not, he's already incorrect on that one. Sorry, Uper. Sorry, Uper. You got that one wrong. All right.
Oh, he was going to make every race and get at least 110.
Oh, shit. No, yeah.
So he
Sorry.
made
All
the race.
right. Donkey awarded him 71A. He only needs one top 10. All
Yeah.
right. He got 18th. He'll probably get it tomorrow. All right. He's going to have to do a lot better than that. Okay. Rico got her done. My first prediction is I'm going to go high limit. I'm going to go not counting tonight because literally we just got done watching the race. Okay. So high limit over the next 2 nights. Rico is really good tonight. So I'm going to keep him out of this one. But you know what? I'll go combination. I'm going to go the combination of Aaron Reitzel and Tanner Thorson have a better average finishing position over the next 2 nights, Friday and Saturday, than Rico and Brad Sweet.
Okay. What happened to Sweet and Reitzel tonight?
I'm not sure. So what did I say? I said Tanner
Thorson
and
and
Reitzel,
Reitzel better average finish
then
than
Rico,
Sweet and
Sweet,
Rico.
Friday and Saturday. Okay. I'm just doing that so we don't have to go back and listen to them. We can just send them to you. You got yours written down there as well. All right, give us your second prediction there, Tonga.
I'm going to go to the Hunt the Front late model series, and I'm going to say a non-Hunt the Front regular will win that race as well.
First of all, they only have 8 or 10 shows, so we don't know what a non-hunt the front regular is.
So okay, I'll change it up. I will say either a Lucas or a Woo regular will win the Hunt the Front race.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, there's going to be a few there, but there's some hitters in that series. Let's go Dale. Let's go Dale McDowell. Let's go Dale McDowell. Let's go Chris Madden. I don't know if he's going to be there or not. Huh?
Zach Mitchell.
Zach Mitchell, right?
Corey Hitchcock.
Jimmy Owens, right? Okay. So a World of Outlaw or Lucas Oil regular will win the Hunt the Front race at Talladega. That's yours.
Now, just for Uper going to argue, said Lucas or Woo guy do not have to be in their Lucas or Woo car. They could be driving someone else's car.
It could be Huddy in the 6.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So we are going to go with Bert's second prediction here. Sorry, buddy. I don't think he's going to get this one right. Aaron Reitzel going to get top 5s every night they race this weekend for the high limits. I don't think he finished top 5 tonight, right? He DNF, didn't he?
I don't know. It wasn't in the top 10.
Yeah.
I see Rico getting on the wing on my TV now, so I'm a little behind yours, but
Yep. So Aaron Reitzel, all top 5 this weekend. Uper's second prediction, Rico Abreu, David Gravel, Bobby Pierce, and an A-mod driver with the name Mike, Michael, Mikey, whatever it may be. All 4 of those drivers will get at least one win in the races that we have picked this week.
Okay.
Rico, Gravel, Pierce, and a Mike in the mod. So that's obviously at I-55. Okay. My third or second prediction here, I'm going to go World of Outlaw late model racing at Magnolia. JD All right, I'm gonna go on a limb here because he's been on the schneid. All right, Jonathan Davenport and RTJ will have a better average finish than BP 32 and Hoffman. Now, both races have to happen. All four drivers have to be there for this to count. Okay. Assuming all four drivers are there and both races happen, Davenport and RTJ better average finishing position than Bobby Pierce and Nick Hoffman this weekend at Magnolia. Is RTJ going?
I have no idea.
I think he's going.
Uh, honestly, I didn't even check. I saw enough names of guys that I like to not even check further.
Yeah, I found, you know what? That's not a bunt. That's the opposite of a
Oh,
bunt right there. That's opposite.
I mean,
So
you're taking four premier guys. It could go any way, any week.
yeah, yep. All right, give us your third and final prediction here.
Well, I don't have one written down, so I got to figure out one.
Okay.
Um, I'm gonna say, oh, World of Outlaws sprints. David Gravel will make both features out of the heat race and have at least one top 15. No?
How about new? How about
Okay.
new?
All right. Well, you know what? I'll just do something dumb just to mess with Uper then.
Okay.
I'm going to say the winner of Mods Gone Wild will not be named Mike, Mikey, Michael, or any variation.
All right. I hope you're wrong because I think we both
Oh,
took
we
Mike
both picked Mike
Harrison.
Harrison, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So a non-Mike will win the mod race at I-55. Okay. All right. Bert's third and final one. And this one here's a double up as well, right? Kinda. It's not quite a double up, but Bert said Rice baby gonna win the spring 50 at Florence. Uper said that Josh Rice will win both the heat and the feature.
Okay.
Okay, so Bert, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Okay, Uper
Is more
one up
bold.
to you. Yeah, he's more bold than you. All right, my third and final prediction. I'm gonna go World of Outlaw sprint cars. We know that gravel's been good. We know that Macedo's been solid, right? Baylog's coming off of a good night, was sitting on the pole. Bill Baylog will have a top five finish both nights this week,
Okay.
and one of them, at least one of the two on the podium.
I like it.
Baylog, two top five, at least one podium. Okay. There we go. All right. We got her done, Chonga. It's 11:30. It's past your bedtime. Hope everybody enjoys the show. A lot of racing to be had here. Get out to the track if you're in an area where there's racing, or jump on your favorite streaming platform. Keep us involved. I ask you to do that too, right? If you see something happen crazy, right, or whatever, we don't see everything, right? We got a lot going on, and I'm driving truck and whatever. Send some stuff over
You
if you
know,
have something
if,
interesting.
if you've got a bold prediction that you want to send it in, send it, put it in the comments. Let's see how you guys do.
Right. Yeah, I got to do better than Chonga. I got to be
Right,
honest with
right.
you.
The
Yeah.
whole three. See, what are you looking forward to this week?
Oh, man, I got to be honest with you. I think I'm probably looking forward to that little tiny bull ring in the World of Outlaw sprint cars. That Creek County deal. I'm a bull ring guy, so I feel like Bill Baylog is really good on them little tiny bull rings. I feel like he could be, I get it. He's Alaska, but he ran the IRA sprint cars for a long time, so he's about as local of a sprint car guy as we have, other than Donnie Schatz. So, I think I'm looking forward to Creek County. See what that place is all about. How about you?
Well, I tried to watch some videos of Magnolia today just to kind of get a feel for what the track was. And I'm like, God, this place looks a little flat. It don't look very wide. And then a couple of the videos, I saw some bangers of a race. So I guess I'm going to look forward to Magnolia. There's going to be some, you're going to have Huddy in the 6 car, and that thing's been bolted. We'll see if anybody can beat him. Last time they had, this level of super late models there, I think JD mopped them up. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'd usually say Florence, but I just don't feel like many people are gonna go,
Ah,
right?
I was looking around. I'm like, God, I don't even have a feel. I don't even have, if I wasn't gonna take Rice Baby, I don't know who I would take.
A guy to keep an eye on, Jason Jameson. He's another one, not afraid to throw haymakers or whatever. But boy, I mean, it's hard to in with this group of people. I don't know. Did you see? I haven't seen where Marlar's going. I could see him maybe going there, but I mean,
His site just said to be determined or something. His next race
right,
didn't say. So
right, because he's good there as well. But yeah, that I guess that's it. So, with that said, we'll jump off here. I'll let you get to bed, and hopefully everybody enjoys the show. We'll see you all next week. Thanks for tuning in to the One to Go Show.